Welcome to the Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bowerly.
Welcome to Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast, Black Friday edition. Right now, subs are on sale. You can sub to the show for the exactly low price of all time, $0. So please hit that subscribe button, please. Black Friday deal only once, actually it runs all year. So corny joke out of the way. This is like my second Black Friday off ever. So I'm here with you guys. And Justin, he's here with us as well. So let's bring Justin on in. We're going to do our ranking show as usual. We're going to break it all down for you. We're going to break down Turkey Day, what we didn't like, what we did like, what we saw in these football games. Let me tell you something. Before we move forward, David Montgomery, I'm going to apologize. I was busy as F yesterday, like as we all were, as all dads were, as all close to 40-year-old dads are. We're slinging pigskin outside. We're not watching TV. I just looked at my sleeper app as I set my lineups. I'm like, goal line work only. He's ready for red zone work only. I benched him everywhere just because I didn't want to deal with it. And I'm sorry, Mr. Montgomery. You looked explosive off the first freaking drive, dude. I'll never doubt you again. Never. Never, ever, ever, ever. So what's up, Justin?
Yeah, Montgomery killed me in a couple leagues. It's fine. Would have preferred to have Gibbs get a couple of those touchdowns, but we all know what David Montgomery is, and he is a touchdown vulture. So
yeah, he's great. So we do have our rankings to go through. A lot of players played last night, of course, and yesterday. So before we get there, Justin, I do want to go. It's Thanksgiving. Well, it's past Thanksgiving, and we are thankful. Every show does this. We wanted to jump aboard because we want to give our thanks out. So, Justin, what player are you thankful for this fantasy season specifically?
Especially right now, I am thankful for all of the fantasy managers that decided to sell Josh Jacobs after week 4. When he started off with 12.4, 13.1, 5.8, and 11.8. He did have a couple of midweeks there, but he's been scoring 20 plus points for 5 of the last 6 weeks he's played. And he single-handedly is getting me into different playoff scenarios right now. Josh Jacobs has really saved a lot of my zero running back strategy teams. And I'm very thankful for RB6 right now.
Okay, so you're good. You're happy. You're excited for Josh Jacobs. I was down on him all year. I really was. So good for. I'm one of those people. Well, I didn't trade him because I didn't draft him. I didn't believe in him. But man, this is hard for me. Like you just about an hour ago, you're like, Josh, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. And I'm like, man, who am I thankful for? Because I'll be honest with you. When I had 101 and I had 101 in a lot of leagues, I took CMC. A lot of my redraft teams are in the dunks. Like they're in the dumpster because CMC just hasn't returned. A lot of those teams still had T. Higgins because I can't get away from him. Again, down in the dumps. A lot of those teams had a lot of Sam Laporta. Again, down in the dumps. My whole gosh darn redraft season has been a complete nightmare. Injury after injury, non-show up after non-show up. But let me tell you something. I am thankful for one player. And it might not be a banger like your boy Josh Jacobs, but it's a guy on this show that we told you guys, hey, this is a great value pick, and he's going to surprise a lot of people, and he's going to put up some decent numbers, even though he hasn't shown anything in a while because he's been injured. And that's Mr. Brian Robinson Jr. We said on this show, draft him. He's going to be super solid. He's going to be a banger. You can get him in the 10th, 11th round, and people aren't going to want to do it because they're still believing in Eckler. Eckler's been as good as well. Like Eckler's actually above him in the rankings because Brian Robinson has been hurt. Brian Robinson's averaging 13 points per game. To me, where you got him, where I got him, I roster him almost everywhere. I am so thankful he's been my running back 2 all season, and he stepped in when CMC could not. Brian Robinson, you are my CMC. Brian Robinson, you are my savior. And I am so happy that I drafted you, and I believed in you. Now let's get back on the field, man.
When he plays, he is pretty good. Except for last week, but that's fine. We're not talking about that. Eckler would be another honorable mention for me. I drafted Eckler a lot in the late rounds, around 15, 16. And he has produced. Pretty good numbers for a 0 running back strategy. So I never thought I'd be thankful for 2 running backs on this show, because we all know that I hate the running back position in fantasy football, but those 2 have saved a lot of teams.
And I also want to thank Jalen Hurts. Just because you're getting me through in your fantasy league, your dynasty, he's my quarterback 1, and he's really turned it on since like week 6.
We talked about this like way at the beginning of the season. Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. I ranked Jackson higher. You ranked Hurts higher, and we had the opposite player in that league. And so naturally we made a trade, and I got Jackson, you got Hurts. And honestly, it's worked out for both of us. Jackson is the QB1 on the season so far, but Hurts is QB2. So it's
since
not bad.
Week 6, Hurts is the quarterback 1.
Yeah, but what happened week 1 through 5?
No, I know.
Those weeks matter too.
Those weeks do matter, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I did want to bring this player up. It's Malik Neighbors. We already talked about it. His weeks 1 through 4 were stellar, amazing, out of control, bananas, and we all thought he was like the next Justin Jefferson, which he might be, because that catch last night, the very last catch that he made, where he had a tiptoe. Did you watch that catch, by the way?
We actually turned that game off because it was QB3 versus QB2, and the game was really boring from the start.
Well, it was great because Neighbors made a great sideline catch at the very end of the game, and Tom Brady, of course, was calling the game. If you watched it, he caught it like a Mario Manningham. Like, literally, remember that play when Mario Manningham caught that ball from Eli Manning? It was better than that. And Tom's like, "Oh, I don't like to see that. It gives me some bad memories," and it was pretty hilarious in the moment there. But yes, Neighbors is elite, that guy. But come on, guys, he has not produced since he was from the first half of the season to now, and that's because of either quarterback play, which we told you that on the show. A lot of parading around from weeks 1 through 4. Oh, we didn't need a quarterback. He doesn't need a quarterback. Well, now he does, and everything's coming true.
He's not getting 18, 12, and 15 targets now. He's getting in the mid 10 to 12 range,
and this is what we predicted,
which is fine.
Unfortunately.
Luckily, he's still getting double-digit points, all but week 7. So week 7, he got 8.1, and the rest he's gotten double digits, but it's not 28 points like he got week 2 and 3.
Well, where I was going with this was a lot of people either remember the first 4 games of the season or the last 4 games of the season. See Tyler Higbee, Rashad Penny, the list goes on with the end of the games, right? Into the seasons. And they draft him super high going, oh, yeah, Malik Neighbors is king of the castle. Well, he is. He's a great talent, but we need to remember. That's why I brought up this Hurts Jackson thing. Hurts struggled at the beginning of the year. Now he's on fire. He's only 0.1 better than Lamar, which it doesn't matter to you because 0.1 doesn't matter. It's not real. But he's only 0.1 better than Lamar, but he's still better than Lamar. So can I get my flowers for that? Yeah, it's good. I kid. It's Thanksgiving, man. I'm in a great mood.
It's Thanksgiving. Trevor Lawrence is expected to play this week. He's back. If that matters for anybody.
Ryan Thomas Jr., baby.
Also, an hour ago, Dalton Kincaid is out for Sunday night's game versus the 49ers.
Shocking.
And yeah, that's the 2 big news right now. So Kincaid is out again. Shocking. Which is going to obviously probably change some rankings here. I don't think we have Kincaid high, do we?
I don't. No, I hope I don't. Screw that guy. That guy's awful. That guy's such a bust, dude. That guy's such a disappointment. I have him.
I don't even know where I have Kincaid.
I don't think I have him even ranked because I didn't think he was going to play. We
don't have him ranked at all. Nope.
I had Laporta 13th, which is annoying. Didn't he score 2 touchdowns? That's super annoying.
Yeah.
Super annoying. All right, let's get to the rankings.
Yeah.
Do you have a cut?
I was watching that game, and my wife comes up. She sees, she looks at her fantasy stats. This is right after he scored his 2nd touchdown. I didn't see the first one. We were doing something at the start of that game, and she was like, "Oh, Laporta's having a good game." I was like, "Yeah, he got a touchdown." I was like, "No, he got 2 touchdowns. Aren't you the fantasy person?" I was like, "Oh my god, sorry." Like
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
Oh, we do have a game today at 3:00. The Las Vegas Raiders and the KC Chiefs. I will not be watching this game live. I'll be at IKEA, going to IKEA right after the show. I cannot wait to get with the crowd. But we'll be there. So hopefully, let's get into the rankings real quick. I have Patrick Mahomes ranked 7th, and you have him 5th. against the Las Vegas Raiders today on Black Friday. Are we expect, because Mahomes loaded up last week? It looks like they're finally getting ready. Like he's going to be throwing 500 touchdowns a game apparently back in the day. Like Las Vegas Raiders are trash. I have them 7th, you have them 5th. Why do you have them so high?
It finished as QB2 last week against Carolina, against a garbage team. Now they're at home on a holiday game. It's a primetime game against the Las Vegas Raiders, who I don't think he's ever lost to. I expect this game to be a blowout. He scored 19.2, finished as QB 15 last time they played him in week 8. But I fully expect this to just be a really good game for the Chiefs. I think there's going to be scoring all over the place. I have him higher. I started putting him at like QB 10, QB 11. Then I was like, oh, he's playing Las Vegas. Divisional games are always weird though, so that is tough. But I expect Patrick Mahomes to just light it up today.
I would hope so. I do think that you're right on everything. I'm kind of weary on Kareem Hunt, and this isn't the quarterback situation, this is the running back. Are they going to run the ball a ton with Kareem Hunt and Pacheco being back? Is Pacheco in today? Can we get a check on that? I know it's only 12:15.
Pacheco is in today.
Yep, he's in today. So that's been announced. I'm sorry, guys. I did not look at any news yesterday. I was eating a lot. I'm sure we all were. Did you eat a lot?
Yeah, he is.
What did you eat? Pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie. What do you guys do up there?
No. So I made half of it. If we're getting into Thanksgiving here, I did a confit turkey, the dark meat. So I confit that in duck fat. If you know what that means, it's just slow cooking in duck fat. I sous vide the turkey breast. That was really good with like rosemary and stuff. We made a corn casserole, spinach casserole. I made a twice baked loaded sweet potato. What else? Cranberry sauce. All sorts of stuff.
Good. I was just curious, pumpkin or sweet potato pie, and you just went left field and said, you know what, fuck that. I'm just gonna not list anything of pie. You didn't list one pie.
We didn't have pie.
Oh wow. All right.
We had a snickerdoodle cake. We went non-traditional stuff this year.
Sorry. I had to like just that's trash. My daughter said, I don't like pumpkin pie. I said,
I don't like pumpkin pie.
Then get out of here. Like, get out of my life. You're not my fan. Like, you're not my family anymore. I'm sorry. Yeah, get out. Yeah, go. I can do the rest of the show. I'm good to go. It's for real. No pumpkin pie. I have enough pumpkin pie to last me the rest of the week going into next week. If you're a fan of me, if you've seen me for the past 7 years on the Finstock Sports Network or anywhere, pumpkin pie is a big thing for me. So don't mess with me, Justin. All right, back to fantasy football talk. I have Baker Mayfield, my man, my boy, top 5 this week at Carolina. You have him 8th. It's kind of like we flip-flop Patrick Mahomes. I'm in the same boat as you where I do think Mahomes is going to beat up the Raiders, but I don't know how much he has to beat him up. And especially now that we know what the benchmark is of quarterback 1 this week with Caleb. We know what Goff already did. We know what people have already done. I think Baker can exceed those guys against Carolina with Big Mike, with Kate Otten. I think they're going to get back on track. The Buccaneers believe they're a playoff team, and they need to beat teams like this to get in there. I think Baker is going to continue his onslaught this season. Why is he not? No, I'm not going to say MVP talks, but he should be at least talked a little bit about it. He's been very good this season, and that's me saying that. Baker at 5 for me. You have him at 8, a little bit lower. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I'm looking at the guys I have higher than him, and it's Justin Herbert, Jaden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Jalen Hurts. The only person I see in that list that I could probably bump him up is one spot to 7 over Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's been just really good lately. And in fact, when Baker started taking not top 10 finishes, that's when Justin Herbert has leaped into the top 10 finishes. So other than last week, Justin Herbert was 12 against Baltimore. I'm looking more so, I don't know. To answer your question about why Baker is not getting the MVP talks, let's look at games where he's playing good defenses. Denver, KC, San Francisco. He's not finishing in the top 12 in those weeks, whereas every other week he's finished top 10. Yep. So he is in the top 10 for me. Obviously, he's at QB 8 against Carolina. We just saw Patrick Mahomes put up really good numbers against Carolina. Mike Evans is back. Kate Otten is still there. But Kate Otten has been garbage the last 3 weeks. Like, absolutely awful the last 3 weeks. And you're looking at me like it's a disappointment for you, because it is. I don't know. I'm liking Justin Herbert a little bit more. J.K. Dobbins' injury is there. We know Gus Bus isn't really the deal. So they're looking between Gus Bus and Kamani Vidal. So I'm thinking, got to throw that ball out more. Lad McConkey's out there.
Yes.
Quentin Johnson, if he can maybe catch a ball,
No.
thrown to him.
Oh.
Justin Herbert should have a top 10 finish.
That's who Drew buried, by the way. It was Quentin Johnson. I remember that now. And I'm like, bro, he was buried last year. I didn't want to say that to him. I like Drew. I'm like, that dude's been buried. I don't know. Did you dig? Are you the person that dug him up, Drew? Or are you responsible for this? That dude's been dead. But anyway, he has so much talent. All right, let's go on to the running back position. Guys, I'm looking at rankings in live time with Justin. I did my rankings this morning. Justin had his yesterday because he's a professional. But the number one, the first thing I see, because again, I have Joe Mixon at 1. You have Joe Mixon at 6. Did you forget Joe Mixon's good at football? And they're playing Jacksonville. Did you forget all of this?
No, don't forget who had Joe Mixon at 1 last week. I had Joe Mixon at 1 last week. He got a 9.5 against the Tennessee Titans, who are also bad at football. Again, like I said earlier, divisional games are tough. Either you do really well or you really suck at them. I don't know. I got burned by Joe Mixon last week, so I did move him down a little bit because of that, and by a little bit 5 spots because of that. I just really like the number 1 player in the world right now, Saquon Barkley, more against Baltimore. I think they're gonna move that ball a lot more. Baltimore's defense isn't. What?
Oh my gosh! Never mind. What? Continue.
Did you forget Saquon Barkley is the best player in the world?
Or nope. Continue.
That they're playing Baltimore.
I just don't know how because we didn't go. Your quarterback one was Jalen Hurts. And your running back 1 is Saquon. So if we see a trifecta, if we're seeing AJ Brown at 1 here too, I can't wait. I can't. That's what that blew my mind. How are you gonna have both? So the Eagles are gonna clean sweep it across the board. Is that what you're telling me? Just because they
you didn't look at the wide receiver. You didn't look at the wide receiver position yet.
I didn't. I did not.
Okay.
No. This is new to me. That's why I just because we didn't even talk about your 1 receiver or 1 quarterback. We both had Hurts 1.
Yeah, we both had Jalen Hurts at 1. So I do have Saquon Barkley at 1.
That's why I have him at 3 because I just don't think he's going to be 1. But it's fine. It's cool.
He's been 1 all season. Like Saquon Barkley is just, I don't know. He's much different this year. He's on the pace to breaking every rushing record out there. He just ran for 255 yards over the Los Angeles Rams, 2 touchdowns. The man is just a beast. 4 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's great.
He's just so good.
So Joe Mixon, on the other hand, let me
believe the Giants gave him away.
Yeah, well, they kept Daniel Jones. Whatever, it works. It worked out perfect for him.
The Minnesota Viking.
All right, so Joe Mixon, I have him at the 1 just for the main reason is they're playing Jacksonville. Well, he didn't do so well last week, and Tennessee's blah 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 blah. Tennessee, don't be hating on Tennessee's rush defense. They're top 10 against the run. They've been all year. They only allow 106.7 yards per game, but in the past 3 weeks, 89 yards per game. Jacksonville, this is just you're gonna be like, what? How's this possible? How are they worse than the Colts ever were? They've given up 200.7 yards a game rushing, 200.7 yards a game rushing in the past 3 weeks. That means every single week, if on average, they're giving up the 200 rushing yards a game. Why wouldn't Mixon go off? Why would he not go off? He's 1,000% going to go off. I guarantee he's going to score over 28 points this week easily. What was the running back 1 yesterday from these teams? Achane had a good game. Rico Dowdle had a good game.
Josh Jacobs.
How many score?
21.7.
He's going to
21
blow
points
that.
up.
Mixon's going to blow that away, 1,000%. So I just don't see any situation where Mixon. Yeah, he disappointed last week. That's true. But again, end of the day, I think he's going to succeed. Bijan Robinson is your running back 2. He's my running back 6. We're just a little bit off, nothing crazy. Again, as the weeks go on, we all get closer in rankings, I believe, because we've seen enough football to know where these people are going to land. But you're really hard on Bijan against this really good Chargers defense. Did you see enough last week to go, oh, Justice Hill did this? Justice Hill went nuts, right? He had that long run. I do believe that there is some running room against him. Do you think Bijan's the one to do it?
Yeah, this is kind of like a Saquon moment for me. He's been good over the last several weeks, minus the Denver game. The Chargers are different. If Khalil Mack is in the game, okay, it's a little bit different. But I just think that he's going to be able to get moving in the passing game and in the rushing game, so that does help.
Yeah, I love Bijan. Again, 6 for me is a little low, probably, but I take the Chargers into account. I think I have Kamara ahead of him, which you do as well. No, you don't, because you have him at 2. I have Kamara at 2 against the Rams. Gibbs, I had him at 4. I was banking on a freaking awesome game. He didn't really have that. It is what it is. And CMC at 5. You have CMC at 7. It's gonna be a snowy game. I heard it's gonna be a snowy game, and I'm not sure if they're gonna have Brock Purdy. And let's be honest, we waited 11 weeks for CMC, and he's been so mid. Can you agree with that? For him.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah. I mean, we expected him to come right out of the gate and just be really good from the start. And then, I mean, we did miss him a lot. We also expected the same. I mean, we didn't expect the same from Nick Chubb, but everybody was like, Nick Chubb is going to be great. It did take him quite a while to get started. I mean, he got 10 points in the first week and then 19 points last week. It took 6 weeks to get to that level again. And my question for Nick Chubb is, are we going to continue to see that? CMC did come out of the gate real quickly, 16.7, but he has tapered off since. I think this is another game where he tapers off. And then I think next week in week 14 is where he actually has that game and carries it into the playoffs.
I hope, man. He needs
but
to
I don't think it's this week against Buffalo.
He needs to get some things working. Last guy we're going to talk about on this list. We already talked about the Buccaneers, but Bucky Irvin, I have him in my top 12 against Carolina. You have him at 19. I think this is one of our biggest ones because I have him as a 1. Oh no, Brees. I have Brees low.
Yeah, I need to actually adjust Brees because I think he's actually injured as well.
Yeah.
So that one is going to fall quite a bit.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Brees because he's still up in the air if he's going to play or not. Just stay monitored, of course, Saturday. Follow us on Blue Sky and all that fun stuff because we're not sure if Brees is going to be full go. That's why I have him at the 17. I will take him out if needed to, and I think Justin will as well. Bucky Irvin, though, at 12 against Carolina. He's not even the starting quarterback or our running back. He's not even the guy that you're going to go to. But I still think he's the best one. Carolina, we already talked about Jacksonville. Carolina's been giving up 176.3 yards per game in the last 3 weeks to the ground. Carolina's number 1. Well, I shouldn't say number 1. You didn't win any prize. You're dead last in rushing defense. You give up 106.5 rushing yards on the ground throughout the whole season. Like, this isn't in the last 3 games. This isn't just home. This isn't just away. That's how much you give up every single week. What's going to make me think you're going to stop Bucky Irvin and Rachaad White and Sean Tucker? It ain't going to happen. I think the Buccaneers, we just saw them explode against the New York Giants, just go nuts on everybody. I think every running back scored last week, I believe. I see that happening again with Bucky Irvin. I think Bucky Irvin's going to have a surprise week. I think we talk about this. Me and Drew did. Go ahead and get the guys who you think are going to bust out, like the Rashad Pennies, the guys who are going to explode for the playoffs that you don't really think. I think Bucky's going to be that guy. And I think Bucky's going to start it this week against Carolina. How say you, Justin?
Yeah. I'm actually moving Bucky Irvin up my list quite a bit now. Just looking at the last 2 fantasy weeks against San Francisco and New York, he finishes RB7 and RB3. 2 top 10 finishes for the RB2 of the team. It definitely shows that they are leaning more his way, which is very nice, which we had hoped from the start. We expected Bucky Irvin to do this. I'm pretty sure we said on the show that Bucky Irvin is going to be the guy in Tampa, and Rachaad White is going to be the guy one of the top 5 finishes last year that we said will finish outside the top 10, and it looks like he is on pace to finish outside the top 10. So Bucky Irving has been good. I think I have him moved up to like RB13.
Don't hate that at all. Loving that. Loving that. All right, let's get to the wide receivers. I can't wait to see this. I have not clicked it. Clicking the button now. Eagles are scoring 80 points this week. You heard it here first from OUS, Justin Bowerly. The Eagles are scoring 80. AJ Brown's going to get 3 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley's gonna get 3 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts can throw for 6. He's going to run for 1. This is the only possibility this happens. I have AJ Brown as my number 1 wide receiver this week. You have AJ Brown as your number 1 wide receiver this week. At least mine makes sense. Mine's quarterback to receiver. Yours is I don't dare to touch the tight end tab yet. If it's Dallas Goedert, I'll quit the show. I will walk away, Justin. You're gonna have it. If you want the Eagles,
I don't know. I feel like this is gonna be a high scoring game. Eagles, Ravens, both. I feel this being a high scoring game, similar to when we saw the Ravens versus the Bengals, where we saw Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase go off. We saw Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and all of them go off. We have not seen a 1-1-1 yet this season. I think this could be it. I think this could be the week. And obviously I'm saying this is the week because I have them 1-1-1. I would love to see it. We've had plenty of weeks where we have a team, actually almost every week we have a team where they have at least 3 of the top 3 out of 4 players finish in the top 8 in fantasy that week. Why not just do it all? 1-1-1. AJ Brown is one of the best wide receivers in the league. Devonta Smith has not been doing well. Since Dallas Goedert has been back, AJ Brown's been getting more separation. And since AJ Brown's been back, he's been one of the best in the league to do it. I don't know, man. I guess he's had a couple of midweeks there in the middle, but finishes wide receiver 6 last week against a tough Rams defense. I don't know. This is the week. I'm just feeling it. This is going to be a high scoring game. And watch me be wrong. Watch it be the lowest scoring game of the week.
Watch it. Okay. I'm going to go shift my focus to, and we're going to do a little guess this player. Okay. This is going to be simple. All right. I am the wide receiver 2 since week 8 in PPR formats. I have scored. I can't do that. That'd be too obvious. I have a rookie quarterback. I play on the West Coast. I play specifically in the Mountain Time. I specifically have a quarterback who, oh, you don't know this? I wear orange. I'm number 14. My name's Courtland Sutton. I don't understand the disrespect of Courtland Sutton these days. And I'm not saying that anyone's disrespected him. In my guillotine league, one of the major mistakes I made, which is I think a major mistake because of the performance, I took David Montgomery out. 6 teams left in this guillotine, so it's understandable. And I put in Courtland Sutton as my last flex because he has been so good ever since. And he's my wide receiver 9 this week. I do think that Courtland Sutton is the real deal, Holyfield. He's been good before. We've seen him produce years and years and years. Now they're playing Cleveland, a team that can give up stuff on the pass. You have him at 13, so you're not far off. I think Courtland Sutton's being underlooked right now by the casual fan base. We're not seeing how good he actually is. I mean, against the Vegas Raiders, he almost scored 30 points. He's been top 10 3 out of the last 4 weeks. He's been top 6 3 out of the past 4 weeks. I can't say anything bad about Courtland Sutton right now. Ever since Bo Nix took off, Courtland Sutton has been the benefactor of this, and he's been phenomenal ever since, averaging double-digit targets since week 8 in that time. It seems like the whole team has clicked, and I'm here for it. So Courtland Sutton, I'm loving him at number 9. How do you feel about him?
I like him there too. That entire offense is going off. I'm a little bit distracted by the news that just came in, so I missed a lot of what you just said. But yeah, Courtland Sutton has been absolutely killing it. As far as the news that just happened, the Bears have made their first in-season coaching change in team history. One of the oldest teams to do in team history. They have fired Matt Eberflus after the ugly loss last night. Where did you watch the end of the Bears game last
Yep.
night?
That was ridiculous. All you needed was like
I was
10 yards. All you needed was like
10 yards. You had 30 seconds to get a playoff.
yeah,
With
that,
a timeout.
yeah,
And
that
instead of doing anything, you get
throw
to
it.
11 seconds, look like you're about to snap it, and then wait till 4 seconds to actually snap the ball. That was
Doesn't make
awful.
doesn't
Call the
make sense.
timeout, get the 10 yards, kick the field goal to go to overtime. The whole time we were like, oh, they're driving. They're going to get a touch. They're going to win the game. A couple of penalties set them back in that drive. 2 big penalties pushed them back with Keenan Allen and Cole Kmet. And they just literally fumbled the ball away in Detroit. Like, they had a chance of actually winning the game. The momentum was the Bears' way. This coaching change does make sense. This is 7 straight losses after that Hail Mary with Jaden Daniels. I'm very very happy about this. They fired their offensive coordinator a couple weeks ago. So now offensive coordinator Thomas Brown now takes over as the Bears interim head coach. So you go from not even being the offensive coordinator to now being the interim head coach of the Chicago Bears. That's
not gonna turn out well. We've seen that with Raheem Mostert and a couple. Not Raheem Mostert.
Well,
Raheem
the
Morris
thing
and a couple
is that this will be a long week for the Bears. He will have a lot of opportunity to really figure out this game plan for the next week against who did we say they play? I just talked about why they play the 49ers next week. So you got a full week and a half almost to game plan for the 49ers. A lot of interim head coaches come out and win the very next game. A lot do. So Bears beat the 49ers next week. Call it here. In the losing streak. Anyways, wide receivers. You were talking about Cortland Sutton. Can we talk about some Bears receivers that did really good, like DJ Moore and Keenan Allen? Like, where did that come from?
I mean, the game's already played, but sure, we could talk about how we did not rank them correctly.
We didn't rank them, yeah. There were a lot of players last night that I feel like we didn't rank correctly. DJ Moore, I had him as wide receiver 33. You had him at 26. Keenan Allen, you had him 31. I had him at 39. So I had him a lot lower. And for them to finish that way, that's going to take a lot, considering they both finished with 23 and 24 points.
Yeah, I mean, there's other guys that we didn't rank correctly, which is whatever it is, what it is. You had Tyreek Hill in your top 11. That was funny. You had Tua in your top 12. That's funny. I also swung and missed on a ton. I mean, it happens, guys. What we do is we put our necks on the line. We go, we think this is going to happen. Then all of a sudden it doesn't happen. And it happens to everybody. And then fantasy receipts and other people call us out, but nobody gives us our flowers when we're right. And that's okay. That's the life of a fantasy content creator. It is what it is. One, I think you're going to be way wrong on, like completely wrong, like 1,000% wrong, which is okay. You'll fix it after I tell you why. Where'd he go? Devontae Adams. You have Devontae Adams ranked over Garrett Wilson this week. You have Devontae Adams at 23, Garrett Wilson at 25. We just talked about how we don't like Devontae Adams this year. I think you're going to adjust this. I think you're going to fix it. Or do you just think Devontae Adams is going to be better than Garrett Wilson this week, even though he hasn't been all season?
I'm trying to remember why I have him at 23. Where are they playing this week? Oh, God, I suck at this, don't I?
Yeah, Seattle.
I mean, we call it a gut check for a reason.
Yep. I like it. No, I like it. I like it. I have Garrett Wilson at 17, like way higher than you, because I do think he's an elite athlete still. I think Aaron Rodgers can still get him the ball. He's been a top 10 receiver all year, all throughout the year. I don't know why we're so down on him. I guess just because that whole team's in shambles right now. You have Khalil Shakir ranked over them too. You love Khalil Shakir.
I mean, wide receiver 1 for the Buffalo Bills. They got to play against.
Yep, I love Khalil Shakir too.
I mean, that's a no-brainer. He's just been really good for them this year. And who are they facing? Seattle? No, not Seattle. Sorry, I looked at the wrong line. San Francisco. They're gonna have to score a lot of points. I feel like this is gonna be a big James Cook and Khalil Shakir game.
And then how the mighty have fallen. You have Marvin Harrison at wide receiver 31. I have Marvin Harrison wide receiver 23. At least I have him still in that top, like startable position. You have him as a flex play. Are you just have you given up on Marvin Harrison? Are you just out?
Not giving up. Disappointed, yes. He's just, I mean, obviously he's not doing what we all expected him to do, which he's a rookie. He's playing on a team that's not really that great. I mean, they're what? I guess they're the best team in that division, but
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not performing well. Wide receiver 49 last week, 14 the week before, 77 the week before that, then 57, 115, 59, 20. Like he's just been all over the place and not really producing at a consistent top 20 position. I have him outside the flex. He's every team I have him on, he's sitting on my bench.
Mm-hmm.
And I only have him in two leagues, and he's sitting on my bench in both leagues because he's just literally not performing.
Yeah, he's just you don't want to put him in there because his floor is so low. His floor is like to me just unstartable, but his ceiling isn't as good as Neighbors or isn't as good as Brian Thomas Jr. I feel like they need to find a groove for him, maybe get him another wide receiver 2 next year so he doesn't have all the pressure on him. I mean, let's be honest, Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch aren't the greatest things ever. Trey McBride is. Trey McBride's really good. He should be helping out a lot, but Marvin Harrison just still cannot get on the same page. So Marvin Harrison, I have him low as well. You just have him really low. And I don't blame you for it. I'm not calling you out for it at all. I do not blame you whatsoever. I do not want to touch this guy on any fantasy team right now. Period. What's going on, Hunter? Happy holidays, man. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And I hope everyone watching right now, either be X, YouTubes on the Finstock Sports Network or OUSFF Pod, had a great Thanksgiving. Hope everyone had their pumpkin pie and Cool Whip and turkey. In potatoes. I didn't have any potatoes. No potatoes for this guy yesterday.
I almost made prime rib instead of turkey yesterday.
We do prime rib on Christmas, as we always do prime rib on Christmas.
Yeah, I like to do that. I have a couple of family members that don't like red meat, and I'm like, I'm not about to overcook my prime rib because you don't like red meat. So, like pink and like they like it.
Yeah.
Done. I'm like, you're killing it. Okay.
Yeah, sucks to suck, man. Go bring your own food then. Bring your own. Yep. Bring whatever you want. Bring a Lunchable, you kid, child, baby.
Tight end time.
Yeah, tight end time. I hope that wasn't your mom or your dad. I like them. Okay, well we're on a roll here. We're good. So far, if you're just now tuning in, Justin had Jalen Hurts as his wide receiver or tight. Jalen Hurts at his quarterback 1. He had Saquon Barkley at his running back 1. He had A.J. Brown in his wide receiver 1. Is Dallas Goedert number 9. I didn't have to quit. I'm good. We're good to go. He didn't put all Eagles sweep. I guess he doesn't believe him. I think he's just a fraud. If he was real.
I almost put Goddard at 1 just to mess with you, to go in there and quickly change it, but I didn't. However, I think I might actually move him up to the top 8. That way it's the first team this season that has 4 top 8 players at the end of the week, and then I could be right about it. And actually, I think I will move him up at least a position because I don't want Taysom Hill at tight end 8. It's gross. Why do I have that?
Because you know why? Because I know what you did. You probably hit rankings and use consensus rankings, and then you can move him down. He was like the tight end 3 consistence. Like he was number 3, and it was hard. Like I had to keep on moving him down. Like there's no way I'm putting Taysom Hill over Travis Kelce this week. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing it.
I'm moving Dallas Goedert to tight end 7.
Okay, I don't hate that. That's where we have Evan Ingram. Both of us have Evan Ingram there. Evan Ingram's going to stay there for me because Trevor Lawrence is going to play, and I do believe he's going to be good. But I am going to move Cade Otton down. I have him at 6 right now. I'm kind of like losing my faith in him. And I might put my boy Hunter Henry there. Hunter Henry. I couldn't move Jonnu. I have him at 8. I had him higher than you. And
That's right.
That's right. But Jonnu's going to end up being like great tight end this week, top 5 easily, and I have him at 8. I don't hate that at all, actually. But we both have Travis Kelce and Trey McBride 1 and 2. I have Kelce 1. You have McBride 2. Travis Kelce goes today against Las Vegas. I'm not betting against Travis Kelce against Las Vegas last matchup, week 8. Travis Kelce had 12 targets, 10 catches, 90 yards, 1 touchdown. He was the tight end 3 with 25 points. That's a tight end 1 every other week, so I'm surprised to see he was only 3 that week. I don't hate your McBride pick, but I'm not betting against primetime Kelce at 3 o'clock on Black Friday with Patrick Mahomes. I think Kelsey's going to have a bananas game today.
I'll tell you why I didn't have Kelce at tight end 1. Noah Gray. I don't know why they use Noah Gray the way they use Noah Gray, but he has been solid. He was their best tight end last week. But yeah, I definitely don't hate. I just talked about how Patrick Mahomes is going to have a game where he's going off on primetime in Las Vegas or against Las Vegas at home, day after Thanksgiving. It's going to be great. But I have him at tight end too. I have McBride for the exact same reasons why I just talked about how Marvin Harrison has not been great. Greg Dortch is not great. McBride is their option. He is the Travis Kelce of the Arizona Cardinals, and he is really their only receiving threat. Minnesota's defense, their secondary is not so great. I expect McBride to have a huge game against Minnesota on Sunday. So that is why I have him at 1 over Kelce.
I agree. Hunter, you were asking a question in the chat. Would you replace Garrett Wilson at flex with Ramondre Stevenson or not Travis Kelce? You would replace Garrett Wilson at flex with Ramondre Stevenson or Calvin Ridley. Someone dropped Wilson. I swooped him up this week. Good for you. That's a great pickup. He is coming off of 2 terrible games against Indianapolis and Arizona, where he scored less than 10 points in both of those games. I'm not really ready to throw Garrett Wilson in the trash just yet. Second in the league in targets, has a top 10 target share rate with Aaron Rodgers. 4th in catches, top 12 in receiving yards. The guy's a complete stud. You're not going to bench Justin Jefferson just because he had 2 bad games in a row. I'm not putting Garrett Wilson at that Justin Jefferson level, like in the same tier, but he is in that same stud level as you don't bench Garrett Wilson no matter what, especially against with Ramondre Stevenson, who could literally give you -2 rushing yards in a game. I think we've seen that this year. I think it happened last week actually. And Calvin Ridley, he's so up and down. He's not as elite as Garrett Wilson, and he also has. Oh, you have Justin Jefferson too. You can afford that. If Garrett Wilson does only have like 7-8 points, you can have that. You know why? Because 7-8 points, you'd be so happy if you got that from Stevenson. I'm sorry, that's just the bottom line. Calvin Ridley, you'd be happy with 15. That's the bottom line. I think Garrett Wilson's true floor is 15 points. So that's why I'm starting Garrett Wilson, especially for that upside.
No, I think after having 2 bad weeks and then a bye, I think there's a lot of turmoil going on in the Jets organization right now, and I think this is the week that they're going to say, no, we're here, like we're still doing well. I think hopefully he does get more targets this week. He's only had 9 targets over the last 2 weeks. He had 9 targets against Houston before that, and he finishes wide receiver 2 that week. So hopefully he does have a good game. I would keep him in that flex position over both Ramondre Stevenson and Calvin Ridley.
Yes. Do you want to talk about any other tight ends today, Justin? I mean, they're all the same. Is there anything that's crazy? I see nothing crazy between our rankings, except for Kate Otten. I have him 5 spots ahead of you, which I'm going to move.
You said you were going to move down. Jonnu has already played. That's not really anything. So, no, David Njoku, I have at 5. You have at 9. He might end up moving down for me. They're going up against Denver, so he'll probably drop a spot or 2. He'll probably drop underneath Evan Ingram for me.
And TJ Hawkinson's in my top 5 this week for the first time in a while because of what he did last week. He actually showed he's back. Let's see if they keep on targeting him. Are you worried if Daniel Jones is taking this job, Justin?
No.
I don't know why he signed. Did he ever tell people why he signed there? I must have missed it. I stand tall. Daniel Jones, if you're watching this show right now, you're a coward. You had an opportunity to sign with Dallas and play last night against your old team. You're a coward.
There's 2 things to that.
I know.
He could want to sign, but the team also has to sign him.
I know. It would have been freaking awesome.
That would have been amazing. Like, absolutely amazing if he would have came out as a Cowboy last night. That'd have been great.
It was set up. It was set up for Thanksgiving. It was set up for the biggest stage he could have possibly had because he's not making any Super Bowl, and everyone would have watched it, and it would have been huge. It would have been massive. It would have been so much fun.
That could have made America's team great again.
That's impossible. That's not going to happen. They're trash. Do you have anything else to say before we do get out of here?
No, I don't.
Me either. I'm ready to go to IKEA. I'm ready to fight the crowds. I'm going to go to TJ Maxx. I'm going to Ross.
We already did all that. We did that before the show. We were sitting online and just doing all the online shopping.
Oh, we're actually going places because we're old and we don't. Yeah, and I'm going to go do it. So, guys, I'm going to go head out there. Wish me luck. I might get some Swedish meatballs at IKEA. I cannot wait. But until next week, we'll be back Tuesday here at noon. OUSFF Pod. You know where to follow us. Justin, Hunter, thank you for watching. Everyone else, subscribe. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on X and Instagram at OUSFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.